Welcome to Landslide's podcast, and we are having some news insight. Real serious one this morning. Philip.
I'm happy to be here today.
It's a good
Piro,
day to be alive.
ADC in the wind, ADC in the air. But there is a big but there because the people championing that appears to be tilted towards Atiku's candidacy. You have David Mike, you have Atiku, you have all of them, talking about removing Asiwaju as their principal objective. And Obi has said it times without numbers that he is not into grabbing of power arrangement, but he wants to see Nigeria work. And again, El-Rufai has been bent on some fairness that the South should be allowed to finish their 8 years. And he wants to see Tinubu not re-elected. That calculation falls, on Southern presidential candidate of any party as it is. Now, the ADC is coming out, but the same El-Rufai appears to be in the coalition, and Obi appears to be in the coalition, and they are not looking in the direction of ADC. Obi is not taking up the membership of ADC, neither is El-Rufai taking up the membership of ADC. Let me start with you, Philip. What is this going to present to the public in the coming days?
Thank you very much. You see, this is 2025. Election is 2027. So there's still a long way. In politics, 24 hours is a long time.
It was Harold Wilson that said it.
Yes, and in politics, there's always alignment and realignment. Yes, there's a coalition started, if you remember, by El-Rufai. It was the one who gathered all the people together to say, look, we can't continue with this APC-led, Tinubu-led regime. It's taking us nowhere. He has said time without number that if we don't stop this man, he will destroy the country. And if there's no country, there will be no country for us to rule. So the first thing first is to rescue the country and preserve the country. So he is saying that what is fair is fair. If the North just finish their 8 years, the North should stay back. There are people in the South that can replace Tinubu and still complete the Southern 8 years.
Yes.
So, but the ADC that came out to say that they are not the coalition party seems to be tending towards Atiku candidacy, which does not go down well with Peter Obi and El-Rufai most especially. Which should not be. That is why you see that at their meeting yesterday, if you see when they said those who attended the meeting, you see Secondus, you saw Lamido, you saw David Mark, you saw the rest of them. The paper were silent on Peter Obi and El-Rufai, which are people who had been in the forefront of this coalition.
Yes.
The only information from El-Rufai is confirming that Aregbesola has accepted to be the secretary of the new party. It does not in any way to show that he is part of that ADC. Because El-Rufai, as it is today, is a PSDP member, and Peter Obi is a Labour Party member. And they are by-elections. And how can they be in ADC and say that campaigning for their candidates in their various
Anambra election is just
by the corner. The by-elections are August 16th.
Okay, all right, let me stop you there. Peter, I want you to look at this. It's not about APC now. So issues of balancing or whatever is not there. It's now coalition versus coalition or coalition by coalition. Is this coalition being hijacked in some form? It was started out by El-Rufai, the voice of, Tinubu can't come back. He has no pathway to re-election. And El-Rufai has said that the South should complete their tenure, which should get a candidate who is willing to do 4-year tenure and, leave the Aso Rock. Obi has made it clear he can do that. And I see this gap philosophically closing up between them. Now, Baba-Ahmed said, there's nothing wrong in these old dogs, let me know, coming into the scene, all this, experienced hand coming into this, even though their experiences are what we are suffering today. People like Atiku, people like David Mark, people like the rest of them. There's nothing wrong in them coming, but they should be behind schedule to aid the new voice in challenging Asiwaju come 2027. And that is also what Obidient Movement is all about. We are not interested in having experience of 10-year tenure in the National Assembly before. That's where we are. Now, the ADC is stated towards article to be headed by David Mark and all that. And clearly, are we going to see a situation where we end up with a 3-horse race? Because if P2B goes to be under anything, Obidient will leave him.
Okay, let me start from ADC. I've been wondering why people say this thing is dead on arrival. It's beginning to become clear for me. If Atiku is on that ticket, it's dead on arrival.
Is what?
It's dead on arrival.
Okay.
Why? There should be equity. It is the South. South has to complete their term. See, whoever that should challenge Tinubu, equity demands that the person comes from South. And again, since this article on the ticket, we destroy the coalition. And look at what El-Rufai is doing. A lot of people might have misgiving about El-Rufai, which I do too.
Yeah.
But he's a human being.
But he's committed to fairness in this case.
We all have our own weaknesses and our own faults.
Yes.
But he won the South. He fought former Senate President to allow Tinubu run. But you know he's South stone. He should complete it. And when I saw the news this morning, a friend of mine called me, drew my attention to it, that see a guy, El-Rufai, has adopted ADC. I was forced to go and look at the news. The news was so simple. He tweeted the acceptance letter of Raul. That's why he has all the thing he did. Because one, look at it logically. El-Rufai cannot abandon SDP now. If he's in ADC, he's anti-party he's doing. Because he has come out as I'm in SDP. And he has not shown any reason why he's leaving. And now he has not told us that the SDP as a whole has moved. Is that it's going to collapse the party and move into ADC? That's the question you should ask. If he wanted the ADC, you have said
okay, Peter, beyond party organization, the idea is 2027. Party is becoming very feeble.
I didn't finish your question.
Okay.
You talk about Baba-Ahmed.
Yes.
It just remains that these old politicians, they have brought us to where we are.
Yes.
And for me, they've done their bit. They had good intention. Unfortunately, their good intention didn't turn out good. But they've had their fair share. They should sit back, as Baba-Ahmed said.
Yes, and watch others.
Allow this our generation to run the show.
Coming to the generational shift you are talking about, El-Rufai said it, that these governors decamping into APC, they just have one vote. They can't control anything. He even gave example with himself that how he struggled to deliver Kaduna, even as a governor. When the candidate is not popular, that is all about the candidate and what the person will do for the people. Do you think all these voices El-Rufai has garnered to join the coalition, do you think they will sacrifice it on the altar of Atiku? Atiku left PDP in 2014 simply because he felt Jonathan shouldn't contest, that it was the turn of the North. He moved over, not by what it was, supported Buhari. The same Atiku, in 2019, when it was turn of the North, all the South supported Atiku. That election, people still believe Atiku won Buhari, but for some reasons, Atiku left the mandate and went to Dubai, never fought for it, never even bothered. People still believe Atiku won that election. People still say it today. The whole South queue behind him. That was when Obi ran with him as a VP. Getting to 2023, Buhari has done 8 years. People said it was a turn of the South. Atiku tricked some people, not all. Because as at the time he was parading that trick, that if the presidency was zoned to the southeast, that he would step down. Knowing PDP was not going to do that, he ran. Now, it's very clear Asiwaju is there. We're just looking for somebody who can finish just 4 years. And somebody that should come in mind, maybe Jonathan Goodlaw, but people say he's not ready, he's not really ready to come in. That's somebody that will, even without campaign, he will win Asiwaju clearly. He will just say, I am running.
That's true.
He will win Asiwaju because Nigerians are tired of what has happened since the day he left office. But let's put Jonathan aside. Now, you have P2B who has said he can run for 4 years, and certainly, 4 years is enough to direct a nation well. After all, the judgment you people are placing for Asiwaju now is only 2 years that he has done. So it means that even 2 years is sufficient to know a government that is doing well. You can start saving government money from day one by not buying fresh aircraft or things like that. That can start almost immediately. Do you think El-Rufai will do all this sweat and allow it to be taken by Asiwaju or by Atiku? Or you are looking at 3-horse race?
Well, I don't think there will be 3-horse race. Whether Atiku run or not, or Atiku runs or not, the race is going to be between, if Peter Obi is in the ticket, between Peter Obi and Tinubu, because
if Atiku is in the race, people vote for him.
Yes, so it's immaterial, because if you watch the body language of El-Rufai, it's very clear. He said it is the turn of the South, and he wants somebody from the South who had organic supporters, organic followers, who has a political party. And he did. I had the privilege of listening to him. He said, Obi has a block in Labour Party. What does that tell you? And he said, I am in SDP. These are his words. Okay, now, Atiku, according to what he said, maybe as of today, he has a party ADC. But as at yesterday, PDP was nowhere. So he was like a partyless person. So the issue now is all the labor of El-Rufai bringing the coalition together. If El-Rufai was the person who brought these people to the coalition, is able to navigate these people to where he thinks they should go to. Because if they had listened to him to come together to say, look, let's do this. And if he said, look, this direction is not going to favor us, featuring a northern candidate will not favor us, let's go with a southern candidate. I don't see any reason why those people will not go with him. What I'm trying to say here is this. Atiku is only trying to, it's an opportunist because he's called into the coalition. He wants to use age and highest position to influence other person. But I don't think people like El-Rufai and Peter Obi and the Obidient Movement generally,
Obidient Movement,
they will not accept that, because that will be the end of Peter Obi if he stays in ADC and allow Atiku to be the candidate. That means there is no Obidient Movement. It's gone. So, but I also know Peter Obi and El-Rufai, they are better positioned considering Baba-Ahmed position, because their age
is a transition.
It's a transition between the young and the old, and they are still full of energy, and their track records are there for Nigeria to see. For instance, if you take FCT as it is today, you cannot try the history of FCT.
The mastermind of the FCT today is,
whether you said El-Rufai as a governor for 8 years, worked for only in Kaduna North, the record is also there. His track record is also in BPP. And if you take Obi into history, you go to Anambra, you see.
And as a minister that was nominated that refused to bribe the senators to be cleared. So El-Rufai still come out on television today and said the FCC are investigating. They find nothing when they're trying to look for anything just to hold him down, which I also think government agencies shouldn't be a witch hunting agent.
Since Obi left office, have you heard anything that any of the agencies are looking for him? So these two people are focused, they have records, and they know where they're going. You see, they cleverly avoided the ADC unveiling because it doesn't go with their mind. And that is a signal to their supporters, especially the Obidient.
All right, the Obedience, let me come to you. If for any reason, which is becoming increasingly clear, that ADC is tilted towards Atiku, what do you think Obedience would do if P2B didn't think him and El-Rufai should go any other way?
Yeah, I think so. If it's not going to be given the ticket in ADC, I don't think it doesn't make sense for him joining. Because if Obi runs under any person, I'm telling you that.
Under any person? Okay. As a VP candidate?
VP, any person.
Yeah.
Him and himself have destroyed Obidient Movement. See, Obidient Movement is all of them who believe in his cause, who believe in his person. If he runs under any other person, he had destroyed this movement. And again, last election, people were saying that Obi caused Atiku the election. Oh, Why don't you see the other way?
It's actually
around.
It's actually Atiku that cost to be the election. Because Atiku, who felt it was turn of the knot during Jonathan, shouldn't have run. That one is very clear.
So now people are becoming more wise. Even at not too, the other people they're becoming more wiser. These names they mention.
All right, time is against us. Time is against us.
The remark and some names they mention, they're smart. At the end of the day, they look at who is sellable.
This time is against us, Peter. We'll have to stop this here, and probably when we come back, we continue. This is Still News Insights. We'll be right back very shortly.